Well, a very beautiful afternoon to you. I hope it's not raining at your end because it's actually raining at this side of town and we're totally loving the weather. I am. I don't know about others. Welcome to Flipside. My name is Daisy Liu Asikidi and we're going to be looking at the other side of the news again on Flipside. This month of September, which by the way is ending today, was dedicated to a disease called Alzheimer's. And many people, I'm sure, have not heard of that disease. In fact, I had to recently learn how to pronounce that word. It seemed like a jaw-breaking one when I first was like, okay. So someone sends me, one of my guests actually sends me some information about it. I'm like, okay, which disease still be this one? And it's good, we learn every day. And I decided that this knowledge cannot just be lost. Everybody needs to be part of the awareness. Correct. We would have talked about this last week, but since it's still September, we decided to move it to this week. And I'm very honored that my guest made it here today. I have two guests on the show today. My name is Daisy Liu Asikidi, and today we'll be supporting World Alzheimer's Month. Supporting World Alzheimer's Month. I have a pharmacist and I have a founder of an NGO. So I have pharmacist John Ahigo. The last time he was on the show, I called him pharmacist John Bosco. He's actually a psychiatrist, a pharmacist in Uselu Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Uselu. So he's here with us today again. It's good to have you. It's been a while.
Thank you very much.
And then I have another amazing woman I'm sure you've seen on other shows, but not Flipside. This is the first time, but this definitely will not be the last. I have Josephine Aneni. She is the founder of the Alzheimer's Disease Foundation. That's ADF for short. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you, Daisy.
All the inconvenience.
That's okay. It's worth it.
All right, so we're going to start with you. You're on the field, and this is what you do. Why did you base your foundation on Alzheimer's to start with?
Good question. Well, it was from personal experience. I encountered Alzheimer's. My junior brother had what is termed as early onset Alzheimer's. He was diagnosed before he was 50, that he had Alzheimer's. And at that time, we had no idea what it is, what it was, or how to handle it, or what to do with, where to go to. All we were told is that, well, it's a cognitive disease. It's a disease that progresses and there is no cure. It's a progressive disease and it has no cure whatsoever. And so I started caring for him. I became his principal carer. So during the period of caring, I learned so much. Of course, thanks to Google, thanks to the internet. I went to school on the internet and read up everything about Alzheimer's, the progression, the behavioral, what goes, everything about it. And I took some courses also in understanding dementia and understanding that Alzheimer's is just one form of dementia. I learned that there are about 100 known forms of dementia. But the most common form of dementia is the Alzheimer's type, followed by vascular dementia. So more people have the Alzheimer's type of dementia. And that is the one that is irreversible. There are some dementias or some, caused by other things that can be reversed with medication. I'm sure the pharmacists, psychiatrists will tell us, because they are the ones that deal with the medications.
Okay.
So what we have with Alzheimer's is just what they give us, to slow the progression for a short time. It's not that it will slow it forever, just for a short time, slows the pace of progression for a very short time, but it doesn't cure it. Then they can give us medication to deal with other things that come with Alzheimer's. Usually when somebody has Alzheimer's, they have other diseases like diabetes, like high blood pressure, depression,
Sure.
so many things.
Of the
it's
stress
terrible.
your brother had to go through made you decide that you needed
the pharmacist
to start
will
the
give us,
foundation.
if it is depressed, it's fine that it's depressed, they will give us something to lift him up. If it is the high blood pressure, they will give us something to do with that and all that. So that's what happens.
That's nice. I actually want to start the foundation too, but it's going to require a lot of funding, so it's on pause for now. Well, back to the Alzheimer's. We've had the reason why Josephine and Nenny started the foundation. But what exactly is Alzheimer's? Because some people don't even know what we're talking about. This might even be the first time they're encountering this word. There may even be someone in their family who's going through it and they don't even know what they're going through. So what's Alzheimer's and when does it start?
Okay. Alzheimer actually is a degenerative and progressive disease of the brain that impairs memory and even cognitive functioning. What I mean by that is that there is degeneration of the cells of the brain, and this degeneration progresses as it goes. So if one is diagnosed of Alzheimer, it's worsened by the day. So it progresses, the illness progresses by the day. And we have a lot of symptoms that you can use, though there is no specific symptom to identify early disease state. But what you could figure out is that the person may be having some, it could even start from mild forgetfulness. Yes, from mild forgetfulness, and as it progresses, it goes deeper. Like I said before, it worsens with time. And before you know, it graduates into the second stage, and the next stage, probably the end stage, is death. But what I'm trying to say is there is no striking side symptom, because we normally forget, but it starts from such mild symptoms like forgetfulness, which later generate into other symptoms of Alzheimer's disease.
Is there an age grade where it starts?
Of course. One of the risk factors is age. Though we found some of the illness among younger adults, but as you grow older, the tendency for you to have the disease is higher, goes higher. Then as you go into 60, 70, there is even a school of thought that says everybody will have it if you live longer enough to present it. There's a school of thought, because even as you age, there is that tendency for you to start behaving abnormally, and your cells in the brain start shrinking, because that's how it starts shrinking, and it progresses, and then start presenting all the signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's.
No, that almost seems like I should be afraid of old age.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Which reminds me that World Elderly People's Day is tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
We might not be doing any information about it, but the elderly do go through a lot of things as age comes. And now that we've just added that Alzheimer could be one of them. Maybe next week we'll dedicate our time talking about the elderly, but let's still stay with what we're doing. Now, what does Alzheimer do to a person? At least you've had first-hand experience and you're dealing with these on a daily.
Alzheimer's is, I call it a journey. It's a journey that you learn from day to day. Like Mr. John said, there is no specific thing you can hold on and say this is what it is. And it's not the same for two people. Everybody has their own type, their own, how would I say it, not type of Alzheimer, the way it presents in
different levels.
Different levels, different ways of presentation. But there are some characteristics or some behaviors that are common.
Okay.
For instance, if somebody has Alzheimer's, and during the progression of that, at the beginning, you may not notice. You may just think it's a slight forgetfulness, and you will say, well, everybody forgets. Sure. So I always want to strike that warning. That's not when you start forgetting, you will say, oh, I have Alzheimer's. No. Forgetfulness can come to anybody. It's a part of life. Even young people, even young children forget things. You send them to go and get something, they come and they get distracted, they say they forgot. So forgetfulness is not Alzheimer's, but it is one of the signs of Alzheimer's. And then as it progresses, we find that the person may not be able to do the normal things you can do for daily living, you know, activities of daily living. They will not be able to perform them. What are these activities of daily living? Grooming themselves, feeding themselves, cooking, driving, knowing how to button their shirt, all those things. They may start not being able to do it as it progresses. And then behavior.
Sorry, is it that they forget, or it affects their ability, their hands?
It forgets their ability. Not that, okay, we can say in layman's terms that they forget.
Okay.
Because it is the brain, you know, it's the brain that tells this hand to move. And, you know, so there's a way the nerves of the body are connected. I want to move this leg. My brain will tell the leg to move.
Yeah.
So if that part of the brain cell is gone, they won't be able to do all that.
Sure.
Sometimes they may not even be able to walk. They cannot be able to sit. Sometimes they may not be able to feed themselves. They'll be looking at the food. Unless you put it in the mouth, they will not eat it. Then towards the end, they may not be able to swallow. The brain has died to such an extent that that mechanism, that automatic thing of swallowing is gone. So you put the food in the mouth, they cannot even swallow it. Then you know that the end is there. Then social behaviors, you know that if you are pressed, you will get up and go to the bathroom. At a stage, the person may not be able to know that they are pressed. The thing will just, so they become incontinent, as you would say. They become urinary incontinent. Then they may also become fecal incontinent. So the thing will just come down naturally because they have lost that ability to control or to know or to be aware. And socially, you know that you cannot just undress here now. But that's a person with very late stage of Alzheimer may lose that sense of inhibition that makes me know that I must cover myself. You may just remove the shirt, remove this thing, and just be wakaing anyhow without being aware of it. Then they have all sorts of other things like delusion. They have hallucination. They will see things that you are not seeing. They will be talking to people that you cannot see. They may fight people that are fighting them, but you cannot see them fighting them. And when that behavior, when it exhibits that behavior, they say it's the person is being aggressive. Then you will now find some psychiatrists, give them psychotic drugs to keep them down, or some people who are not in the medical field will carry chain and tie the person down, thereby abusing their rights. they are abusing them. This is a form of abuse. Or they will start take them to a prayer house, and they will start flogging them to cast out the demon, to cast out the devil that is making them. And then the next thing, they may get stigmatized. They will say the person is a witch, that the person is a witch, or that the person is mad, raving mad. The person has gone really mad. It is all because people have not understood what it is. And that is the reason why I founded Alzheimer's Disease Foundation, primarily to create awareness about this disease, to let people know that there is no need to stigmatize people with it, because as far as I'm concerned, it is a disease that will kill you, a person, just like cancer will kill a person, just like heart attack will kill a person, just like hypertension can kill a person, and so on. So it's a disease like any other disease. So there is no need for stigmatization. There is no need to be ashamed of it. You remember there was a time people were ashamed to admit that their person died of cancer.
Of course, yes.
Or HIV.
Ah, that one.
You know, there was so much stigmatization, people were hiding it. So there is no need for that, you know. So we should be open, and we are lucky that we have a lot of experts, a lot of medical experts who understand every part of the body and every type of disease. All that is required of us is to approach them. So if you see a change of behavior in a person near you, convince that person to come with you to go and see a doctor. Sometimes they will tell you there's nothing wrong with them. They are not going to see a doctor. But, you know, lovingly, you go and see a doctor, talk to a doctor. A doctor will be able to assess the person and say, yes, I think, and there are tests they give them. I think this person has dementia. Then he will now write a note to his colleague in a neuropsychiatric hospital, because he's just a general doctor. Practitioner. He has a colleague in the neuropsychiatric hospital who he writes a note, say please.
A referrer.
A referrer. I'm using layman's language so that they will understand. You know? So the person will now look. He will tell the person what he suspects. Then the person will look and confirm. And once you have a diagnosis, then you are sure what you're treating. Then you are sure what is happening. It is important to have a diagnosis.
Okay, fine. What's the major difference between this Alzheimer's and some other common dementia?
Actually, it boils down to the etiology, that is the cause of the disease. You have dementia. Dementia is a general term used to describe all illnesses that affect the brain cells that could lead to memory loss and lack of cognitive functioning. So Alzheimer's is one of the type of dementia. You have other ones like vascular dementia, you have Lewy body dementia, you have a lot of them, but the one that is most common amongst them, that we can give probably 50 to 80%, is the Alzheimer's type of dementia. But all other ones are just mild. They could be due to vascular issues. Even stroke can cause, obesity can cause, alcohol can cause. Anything that can affect the brain can also lead to shrinking of the cells. And from there, the cells start dying. And before you know, that area that dies will be affecting one another, because the brain, like she said before, is what coordinates all parts of your body. Everything you do is being coordinated by the brain. So if your brain lacks functioning as in properly, definitely it will affect other parts of the body. That's why you see, sorry I'm digressing a bit, stroke patient, a part of the brain has been damaged. That's why you see deformity. It affects the other part of the body. So the brain is what coordinates all parts of the body. So when the brain cells start shrinking, it's affecting one part. And like I said, you can hardly detect the onset. The brain may start dying years before you diagnose Alzheimer's disease, because it's a gradual thing. Everything that has to do with the body is gradual. So you may not really know the onset when it actually starts. But if you can pinpoint those striking symptoms like forgetfulness, apathy. He's just lost interest in daily activities. He start forgetting. That is when you should even be worried, when you start forgetting names of his close ones. Even conversation, recent conversations, recent happenings, hygiene, poor hygiene set in, and things like that. You start querying something is wrong. But some people may say, this child, that is ignorant people anyway. They may say, this child or this person has just changed. I don't know what happened. But you should be worried and search for help.
Okay. Well, is Alzheimer's hereditary? I mean, if a family member has it, should we all be scared that it could get to the children, the siblings,
Yeah,
or something?
Alzheimer's, is genetic. It can be genetic. And if a family member has it, you should not be scared of having it because you may not have it. There is nothing that says that once a family member has it, every other member will have it. That is why people hide it, because they don't want people to say, they have this disease in their family. Don't go and marry there, because if you go there, they have this strange disease in their family. That's why people hide it. So there is no need to hide it. There's no need to be afraid. It's just like if your father has diabetes. The likelihood that you will have diabetes is there. But you may not have it.
If you live right.
You may not have it. You do understand, depending on your lifestyle and other factors. Yeah.
All right, we're supporting World Alzheimer's Month right here on Flipside. We're creating awareness and we're letting people know that there's actually something like this. And ignorant people like me who didn't really know, and we're not ashamed to say we didn't know because now we know. Yes, let's all learn. Don't forget that you can get the full video of our show on YouTube. So when we're done and you missed out on any part, because this is something you need to really follow up, just go on YouTube, go to ITV Benin and go through our playlist. You will find Flipside. You see this video and several other videos, over 72 videos on YouTube, or just search for it directly and then follow up. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some more.
Video edition of Independence Owewe Nigeriana, courtesy ITV Radio Benin, to mark Nigeria's 60th Independence Anniversary. Date Thursday, 1st October 2020. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue ITV Radio Ultra Modern Studio Igwosa Oluku. Join the live studio celebration from your homes. ITV Radio Owewe Nigeriana, featuring poem recitation, music, comedy, and the best Owerizer dancing competition, where only the 10 best dancers selected from those who sent their 2 minutes videos will compete live in the studio. Send your 2 minutes dance video now to 08154752979 on WhatsApp to stand a chance. Independent television and radio, Owewe Nigeriana 2020, will bring to your living rooms the joy, excitement, and the razzmatazz of Nigeria's 60th Independence Anniversary like never before. So don't miss it.
It's the Flipside on ITV. We're talking about Alzheimer's, and my name is Daisy Leo Esikidi. I have 2 people in the house who's been joining me to create this awareness. I have Pharmacist John Ahihu, and we also have Josephine Aneni, the founder of ADF. And the last question I have, because we have less than 3 minutes to leave the studio, is what can we do to help people who have Alzheimer's? I think I'll start with you. So, because that's your last one.
What we can do to help people with Alzheimer's is, first of all, to love them and know that they're just normal human beings, like who have a disease. Do whatever you can to do to help them, spread their awareness, to make sure that they are not isolated, they are not abused, they are not stigmatized, because that's it. And then we also, if you cannot, seek help. If you cannot look after them, seek help. Today we have a lot of care homes where we can take them. You can take them there and be sure that they are being looked after. Rather than saying that, oh, our culture forbids taking your mother or your father to a care home. That is retrogressive thinking. We need to move forward, because you cannot be in Germany or Canada and leave your parents here with an uneducated and uninformed housekeeper and say, oh, you are providing money for the carer. I think that is wickedness to your parents.
Okay.
You take them to where they are professionals. There are homes, and there is no home that is running without professional people coming there. If they need physiotherapy, they would call. If they need psychiatrists, they will call. If they need whatever, the home will cater for them.
Okay, Pharmacist John, your last words. How can we support those who have
Actually, I will advise the viewers that anytime they discover anything that has to do with forgetfulness, though everybody forgets, but when the thing has gone beyond normal, there's a point you know that this is out of place. Take the person to the hospital. Thank God we have a federal neuropsychiatric hospital in Benin.
Yes.
You can access it. The doors are open. All you need to do is just walk down, bring the person. We will first assess him first before we think of the next stage to take. So bring the person down to the hospital. Let us identify if it's just a normal case that you need to, because we have all the experts there. We have the psychiatrist, we have the pharmacist, we have the nurse, all well trained. Even some people went out abroad to train. We have the psychologist, because they are also very important in this issue. It's a multidisciplinary approach to treating this person. So all of them are there, well trained, are waiting to help anybody with this problem. So they should access the hospital.
I want to say thank you to the both of you on the show today. I've learned a whole lot, like a whole lot. You know what I'm going to do? I would help my viewers. Apart from putting the videos on YouTube, I'm going to also get the link and put them on my social media platforms. My Facebook account is Daisy Osato, and on Instagram it's same Daisy Osato. This will be the first time I'm actually posting my video on Flipside on my page. Reason being that some of you might find it hard to locate it on YouTube, but on Facebook or Instagram, you can DM me. Send me a direct message just in case you have a family member, a close friend who is in dire need of help at this stage with Alzheimer's, or maybe you suspect some form of mental issue. And I will be able to reach out to you and get the contacts of the ADF, which is the foundation. We have someone who is representing the foundation here, and also the psychiatrist, the pharmacist, or any other consultant psychiatrist. I'm Daisy Leo Esekili. Thanks for your time. I'll be back next week. Bye.